is all about women who are breaking stereotypes, and you will see a lot of them today. This really is our conference. When we started this conference, it was quite formal. It was more conferences that men do. You know, it has a linear flow, very black suit. But over time, we've made it very much our own. This one is straight from the heart. There's no jargon. There's no BS. It's just the way we like it. So please keep it personal. Laugh, cry, share, let it all out. And please celebrate the woman in you and the woman sitting next to you. So let's start. We've got lots to talk about.
Should women at the workplace get maternity leave for as long as 8 months? I think it's a terrific idea. I think it's a terrific idea. And I like the claps. I don't know how many of you are actually going to implement it. Which is, do you believe it's a double-edged sword?
Yes, it is. It is. And well, on one hand, it's really, really important. It depends. Every single thing has consequences. So, on one hand, if you breastfeed the baby for 7 months, all these statistics say that you will get a healthier baby, you will get a more intelligent baby, you will get a more disease-immune baby. And that is, all three are really important. On the other hand, if you take off 7 months and 1 month on the last month of your pregnancy, will you be employable? We've got to, again, see whether the market will respond to this favorably or not. So it's an issue that has both sides, as you said, double-edged.
And the Prime Minister, have you raised it with him?
I have, and I've said that because he might want to think of the other side. Will it have an effect on the market? I don't think so. I think at some point the market is enlightened enough to absorb it. But there will be an initial little bump when people will say, oh my God, I can't afford these women. I'd much rather have, not have them.
You're also throwing up another interesting idea, I'm told, which is prenuptial agreements.
Yes.
I thought all these things happen only in the West. That again is pretty revolutionary for a country like India to have a prenuptial agreement.
Prenuptial agreements are not Western. It is an idea which we thought was important only because if a divorce takes place, a lot of women have to go to court for maintenance. And they go on and on and on, year after year after year. And finally the man says, okay, I won't pay her, I'll pay the court. And then she has to go to court and stand there for hours and hours on a particular day, pay a bribe to the clerk who will give her the money in this disdainful, horrible manner. Not nice, not nice. We just thought that one of the ways out of this could be a prenup, in which it's mandated how much you will get, what you will get.
When's the first time that you perhaps had a conversation with your parents, with your family, that you were serious about having a sex change? What was the conversation like?
Jada conversation nahi tha, because I was a literature student. I read Rabindranath. I taught Rabindranath. तेरी आवाज पे कोई ना आई, ओ तू चल एकला रे, ओ तू चल एकला, चल एकला, चल एकला, चल एकला रे, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে, तेरी आवाज पे कोई ना आई, ओ तू चल अकेला रे।
आपने जब ये ऑपरेशन करवाया,
ऑपरेशन तो मैं नहीं किया, डॉक्टर किया।
जब करवाया तब जो आपकी फैमिली था उसके बाद क्या कुछ हुआ? क्योंकि आप शायद बता रही थी कि कैसे आपकी माँ को इसके लिए दोषी
बहुत रोते हैं, मैं मर गया, मैं जिंदा नहीं मर गया, इसे वो समझते।
आपकी so you're saying कि आपकी माँ को आपकी फैमिली ने आइसोलेट कर दिया था, उन्हें अकेला कर दिया था, ये कहते हुए कि उनकी गलती थी कि आपने अपना आइडेंटिटी चेंज किया?
हमारा लाइफ में ऐसे ही था, सब दूर चला गया, अब सब अभी सब धीरे धीरे से हमारा पास में आ रहा है।
What are the 5 signs of knowing that you're a piku, that basically you've had it?
Yeah, I think you're PMSing the whole month. That's the first sign. I mean, your mood swings, only you know them. Actually, even you don't know them. Probably that is one. You're stretched beyond your elasticity, beyond your capacity, but I guess not beyond your capability. You're sort of a control freak. You like to believe that you can do it better than anybody else, and you know it all, whether it's about potty, whether it's about hypertension, whether it's about kidney or whatever else. I think you will be the best decision maker. So in the case of Piku, I mean, even if she had the choice of sharing that responsibility of taking care of her father with somebody else, would she have done that? No, because I don't think she would have, let go of that control. So in that sense, yeah, there's a sense of control. She's fiercely independent, financially, sexually.
Yes,
looking
because her father has broadcasted to the whole world that she is not a virgin.
Yeah. And what else? I think, but above all, I think her moral fiber, the strength of her character is supreme. And yeah, she has a wild streak to her. There's a crazy side, but I think the sense of responsibility is beyond everything else. Yeah.
And that's really you as well, isn't it?
I don't know, because I grew up in a house where it was like this. I mean, if I had to go for a birthday party, I was told that no, you can't because mommy is not well. And after a point, I stopped asking for that, and I was comfortable with that idea. And that happened when I was 7, 8 years. So after that, I got used to that kind of environment, and I didn't know anything else. So for me, it didn't come as a lot of hard work, actually. That's the best I knew.
But still, I think for a young girl growing up to see her mother unwell most of the time, and to be the caregiver to her mother, whereas it's usually the other way around, it couldn't have been very easy.
It was, at times it was difficult because I couldn't talk to her freely about a lot of things. My growing up years, the way my cousin sitting here, she could do with her mother, or my other aunts would discuss certain things with their daughters. I couldn't do that because the topic of discussion usually was BP check kar lete hain, aaj zyada hai, aaj kam hai, ye dawai khani hai, ye doctor ke paas jana hai. But yeah, so that part I did miss, that sharing my life with her. But I think she became like my daughter, and I don't know, it just I never felt the need therefore eventually to be my mother. When you have a child at home, you don't want anything else. So it just, I don't know, sorry.
And yet it's amazing that you have laughed through it all, and you find everything fun.
I did everything that I had to do.
So you were not a virgin.
I'll not say anything about it over here.
No, we have 50-year-old male stars right now who say they're virgins. Come on.
I feel very sorry for them. They really have not experienced a lot of wonderful things in life.
No, but what is remarkable is that you find the humor in suffering, and I think that's what everyone related to in Piku also. I mean, it's just such a happy film, and at the same time, it's such a sad film.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'm strangely a dark, odd character because I wrote Piku sitting in ICU. I wrote Vicky Donor sitting in ICU, and in ICU.
Really?
Yeah. A lot. That was the time when my mother was quite unwell, but I wanted to write the film. I think humor has really helped me live. a less sad life, or I don't like that whole feeling of depression and all of that. While that is there, I'm aware of it, because if you sit down and think, there's lots to sulk and cry about and feel sorry for yourself. But I don't like that. I find it, it pulls me down, and I want to fight it out. I know my mother suffered depression, and I know there are those streaks probably somewhere in me too. But I'm aware, and so I make sure that, when you're sitting and growing up in a hospital all your life, how much are you going to feel sorry for somebody who just popped out inside? I mean, you're chatting with the attendants, and then you realize those attendants are not there next day. So you realize, okay, that poor man either has got shifted or he's really shifted. So, how much more can you cry?
You said you've been 90 kilos and now you are 57 and you felt beautiful in both. But when did you feel more beautiful?
Honestly...
Because I've been there too.
Yeah.
And I can tell you where I felt more beautiful.
No, the thing is that even when I was 90 kilos and I have enough people in my life that can vouch for this, there was nothing different about myself. I wore what I wanted. I partied as much as I wanted. I got enough attention from the opposite sex. I ran on the treadmill I did everything that I can do today. So in my mind, there really was never a difference. See, it also is that I was never a very skinny girl. I had my months where I was like, okay, you have to lose weight. I had my months where I really didn't care about my weight. And I think that's every girl's battle, the eternal wait to lose weight. That's like an ongoing process. But I think the thing is that every time I saw myself, I saw a happy girl who was very content with everything she did. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and be like, oh, I wore like hot pants when I was 90 kgs. No, I didn't, because I didn't think I was looking appealing. Okay, but even now I'm not a size 2, I'm not even a size 4. I'm a proud size 8 and I dress the way I want, and I've always done that. So I'm very happy, be it Bhumi 90 where she was Sandhya or be it Bhumi 57. I'm a very content, happy person. My happiness does not depend on my physical appearance. It never has. So very content always.
So Varka, how do you make weight and physical appearance about how you think in the mind rather than how you look in the mirror, right? She's talked about that, saying that she felt the same. She hadn't changed. So
because what we are concentrating on in terms of weight loss, weight gain, are external superficials. And happiness does not depend on external conditions. I know it sounds cliched. It's an intrinsic state of mind. But more than just a state of mind, it's a process. When I'm sitting here today, addressing you, talking to all of you, I'm happy. It has nothing to do with the way I look. It has nothing to do with what clothes I'm wearing, what size I am. And I think until all of us are able to actually re-educate what is between the ears, okay, this entire battle constantly 24/7 will continue, because I think our connotations, our associations, our kind of correlations between happiness and the way we look is one of the most unfortunate ones. And that's why you have cutting, you have eating and throwing up, you have binge eating, you have starvation. And with the work I am doing, we are also finding significant correlation between diet, as in lack of food, and emotional disturbance. So I had someone who went completely off carbohydrates and began to hallucinate. So the more we externalize happiness, the more miserable we will be.
Rujita, what do you have to say about that? Because I mean, it's fine to say what Varka is saying, and I'm a working person. I get, let's say, TV ratings or profits, and that makes me happy. And nothing makes me happier than when my weight is down on that weighing scale, right? Now, what is going on? What is connected there?
Well, I think all that you have to do is really change the settings on your weighing scale so that it's always showing the number that makes you happy, because that way you will just be happy all the time, So,
this is your top dietitian tip?
Yes, because, thank you for calling me the top dietitian. I don't know if I have that. But I work without a weighing scale. So I do not own a weighing scale. There is no weighing scale in my office. Because every woman is capable of feeling good or bad about herself based on how she's feeling within. And sometimes I guess we just need an opportunity to do that. So eating right, I guess, is just a method of being more in touch with yourself. And when you're more in touch with yourself, you make the right decisions. Maybe decisions about, should I be standing up and eating my lunch? Should I be sitting down and eating my lunch? Do I really need another helping, or am I fine with just this much? Small decisions which really help us feel in control of our lives. And I feel when we are in charge, that's when we are really happy, because we are making the choices, and then we can be very, very at peace with all the consequences that come with it. So if your happiness depends on a number, just fix that scale on the number, and then every day, imagine Kalipuri wakes up every day she's happy.
Every day she's 57.
Every day in the bathroom she's happy,
I was talking to her last time in such a conclave, and she said, beyond a point, your body just gives up the battle and your mind takes over. What was that point? When it was first detected, what crossed your mind?
Actually, it was all very confusing, because I was sitting in the hospital. I had the reports on my lap. It was all gobbledygook. I understood not a word. They were all just nonsensical words. The only thing that stood out was carcinoma. My husband was on his way to the hospital. My dearest friend was on her way to the hospital, because apparently the doctor already called them up and said, it's detected as cancer, but we need to tell her face to face. So there was this whole load of things happening behind me, which I had no clue about. And I landed up being alone, looking at this report, and I remember saying, I so clearly took out my phone, Googled whatever I could. I looked up, the surgeon was just passing by, and I just picked up my report and I said, what? And he goes, and then I said to myself, okay, Dilshan, we're going to fight this one. That was it. I had no choice. I had a 9-month-old.
In this country, we have a problem of people looking at you differently if you apparently physically look different. Does it happen with you?
Yes, every day. But since I've had this since I was a child, I realized early on, it's stupid to think that the person who's looking at you differently has a negative intention, because all that does is that you and the other person get distant. So what I do is, when someone looks at me differently, is that I remind myself that this person is looking at me because I'm strange. And to be honest, if I see something strange, I also look back. And I also, check. I mean, if you see an elephant with 3 legs walking down the street, you will look. It's just human nature. So what I do is I turn around and give that person a broad smile, and then say hi, or I wave at them, or I give them a wink, and that puts them at ease, and that kind of makes them feel better. And then, sometimes they come and talk to me. And
I mean, is there a distinction between being beautiful and funny? Try and tone down the beauty, or tone down your feminineness if you want people to laugh at you a little more. I mean, is that sad, or is that just the way it is?
And also one of the things that I performed in LA, subtle plug, and I was talking to the owner of the club, and he said, and he was a very sexist gentleman, and he said, Aditi, I haven't met too many funny women, and you're hilarious. And I said, thank you. And then he said, the truth is, women find it just harder, because at the end of the day, women are the ones laughing. If there's a cute guy on stage, has anyone heard of Kanan Gill? Holy smokes! He is absolutely adorable. वो जो भी बोलेगा औरतें हंसेंगी. We will laugh because he's beautiful to look at. Whereas it's the exact opposite with women. Because if I come on stage with a low-cut dress and, just a super short dress, even women will turn around and be like, you're using your sexuality. And when they don't laugh, the men don't laugh. And especially if the men find you funny and the women don't, then you're done for.
Do women and men like different kinds of humor? Are you able, I mean, what I mean to ask is, like, from a stage, are you able to tell, you know, which subjects maybe girls like better and laugh at more than maybe guys, or the other way around? Or is it humor is humor?
See, of course, because I think the place in the power structure for men and women is both different. We will laugh at different things. I find it hilarious when, you know, someone cracks a joke about eve teasing, whereas a guy will not even get the full impact of how creepy and vulgar it is to be beckoned on the street like. I'm like, kutta hai yahan pe, kisko bula rahe ho? And so yeah, I think, you know, as this production as well as consumption of comedy is very different. The one thing that irritates the hell out of me is when I'm introduced on stage as like, #1 female comedian in India. I was like, kya? Like, female is not a genre. Like, the guys, thank you, right? You can do, like, the guys do political and satirical and, matlab, bhari unko itna intelligence, mera aurat. Wo ke baare mein kuch bolti hogi, yes. And I find it very irritating. I'm like, no. Even if I'm talking about eve teasing and sanitary napkins, I'm talking about things that 50% of the earth should be able to identify with. So it's not female humor, my friends, it's observational humor. Straddle two different worlds, quite literally. You know, one hand, very normal, down-to-earth friends, surrounded by, you know, people who have a lot of goodwill for you. Then on the other hand, when you choose your roles, you know, because you are in that professional space, there is stereotyping there also.
I would love to do a dance song. I'm not going to call it an item number, because for me that distinction is very clear. This is a dance song done by a dancer, and this is an item number done by some misogynistic people who call that girl an item, and I just totally can't take that. Anyway, so, but most, like, at least like 2 years ago, people would say, "Nee, iska Aditi ka chehra bahut masoom hai." Means what? I wanted to like shove my fist in their face. It really used to irritate me. In the Indian movie industry, though we have made great progress and we are doing some amazing work, but I still feel that somewhere when it comes to girls, you are immediately put into one little box. And if you try and get out of that box, you're done for.
Are you convinced that the future is female, independent and educated? Because you're in a field where, let's be honest, right at the very top, number of women in powerful positions still less than 10%. So is the future really female, independent or educated, or is this something that we would like to aspire towards?
Yeah, the later. I think that's something which we like to aspire towards. It takes a lot of effort. It's not going to be easy. And even then, even at the cost of sounding a bit not in league with many women activists, I would say, it need not go to the extreme of, oh, the future's here, it's all going to be women. I would want it to be fair to women and not at the cost of denying men, never.
What was the biggest change that you had to make that transition from being a corporate executive to becoming a full-time politician?
Well, I'm not sure if I had to change a lot, but I did carry the strengths to my party. And the roles that I have been given in the party have all been of such nature that I could bring in those strengths and effectively use them.
Who's going to drive change for women? You were part of the National Commission for Women. And many believe that these bodies at the end of the day are talking shops.
Without personalizing, however, based on my personal experience in the National Commission for Women, these bodies need not be talking shops. Actually, if you understand the role that you're expected to play, and if you really do have a picture of what you would want to deliver, in each one of the cases which approach you, you can make a very big difference.
As Commerce and Industry Minister, you must often meet corporate India. You know, you sit in a CII meeting and a FICCI meeting, you must be surrounded by all these men in their dark suits and ties. Would you like to see corporate India also wake up and restore a greater element of gender balance? Are there too many men in suits when you are in these boardrooms talking to corporate India?
Yes, no doubt. And I also must concede, even the public sector undertakings which are there in my ministry, to get a woman director is such an effort. There are a lot of qualified women. There are a lot of women who are definitely stuffed for being in a board, but they do not want it. Or they think they'll be taking too much in their hands, which is very well. But there aren't enough. So I keep going around searching from a limited pool of people, and I wish there are more women who are willing to take that responsibility, because we need to have more women in the boards.